All right, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in the world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of Alexandra Mayer's live, page by page reading of the Bible. That's right. Right now we are in Genesis 12. That's where we're picking up this morning. The call of Abram. The call of Abram. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. And remember, the chat is available for those of you out there who want to ask questions or offer your perspective or your commentary. But keep in mind that this is a Christian centered project. So you really do need to be of the Christian faith to participate in the chat. If you are not of the Christian faith, there are literally thousands, if not millions, of other chat rooms for you to participate within. Thank you for your understanding. So let's go ahead and get started. The call of Abram. Now the Lord said to Abram, "Go from your country, your family, and your father's house to the land that will show you. I will make of you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless them who bless you, and curse him who curses you. And in you, all families of the earth will be blessed." Well, that sounds like a pretty good deal. God coming to you and saying that, then you get the protection of the curses too. Sounds pretty good. Let's continue. So Abram departed as the Lord had spoken to him, and Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he departed from Haran. Abram took Sarai his wife, Lot his brother's son, and all their possessions that they had accumulated, and the people that they had acquired in Haran. And they set out for the land of Canaan. They came to the land of Canaan. Now, this is interesting. Now, remember, Sarai is barren. So they brought with them Lot, his brother's son. So it sounds like his brother, felt like, well, you guys don't have a son. You can have one of mine. So, that was going on in those days. And the people that they had acquired. So, who are they? His slaves? That's what it sounds like. So they're heading out to Canaan. They're heading out. Then Abram passed through the land to the place of Shechem, to the oak of Moreh. The Canaanites were in the land at that time. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your descendants I will give this land." So he built an altar to the Lord who had appeared to him. From there he continued on to a mountain to the east of Bethel and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Ai on the east. There he built an altar to the Lord and called on the name of the Lord. Then Abram continued his journey toward Negev. Abram in Egypt. Now there was a famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to live there, for the famine was severe in the land. When he was getting near to Egypt, he said to Sarai, his wife, "I know you are a beautiful woman. Therefore, when the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This is his wife.' They will then kill me, but they will let you live. Say you are my sister, so that I may be treated well for your sake. Then my life will be spared because of you." So when Abram entered Egypt, the Egyptians saw that Sarai was very beautiful. The princess of Pharaoh saw her and commended her to Pharaoh, and she was taken into Pharaoh's house. He treated Abram well for her sake, and he had sheep and livestock, male and female donkeys, male and female servants, and camels. But the Lord afflicted Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Abram's wife Sarai. Oh my gosh. Well, that's an interesting thing that, Sarai and Abram had to contend with, because basically it sounds like, Abram was trying to protect his wife, trying to make sure that, um, you, you know, she wasn't, completely just had horrible things happen to her because, apparently, even though she was barren, she was super duper pretty, and he knew that they would probably, rape her and do all kinds of horrible things to her. So, just because of the social structure at that time, he knew what to do. But still, wow. But God protected her by creating those plagues and stuff. It almost makes you wonder if maybe Abram Abram and his tribe or his group, maybe they were carriers of something that they were immune to that wasn't affecting them, but that the Egyptians hadn't encountered germ wise, and that was a part of it. I mean, there's a lot of levels and a lot of ways to look at this. So, anyway, all right. But the Lord afflicted Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Abram's wife, Sarai. So Pharaoh called Abram and said, "What have you done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister? I might have taken her as my wife. Now here is your wife. Take her and leave." So, that's an interesting situation. Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away with his wife and all that he had. Okay. Okay. Well, Abram had to do what Abram had to do. But the Pharaoh shouldn't have been so greedy with the women to begin with. All right, let's go ahead and jump into Genesis 13. Abram and Lot. So, Lot is Abram's nephew. So, Abram went up from Egypt to the Negev, he and his wife and all he had, and Lot with him. Abram was very wealthy in livestock, in silver, and in gold. He continued on his journey from the Negev and came to Bethel, to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, to the place where he first made an altar. The Abram called on the name of the Lord. Now Lot, who went with Abram, also had flocks and herds and tents. But the land was not able to support them both dwelling together, because their possessions were so great. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock. The Canaanites and the Perizzites dwelled in the land at that time. So there were too many people, too much conflict. So Abram said to Lot, "Let there be no strife, I ask you, between me and you, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are close relatives. Is not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If you will go to the left, then I will go to the right. Or if you take the right, then I will go to the left." So, in effort to retain his relationship with Lot, he's like, okay, let's just get some space from one another. Okay, because they're both two little kings, basically running around in Bible times, and their gangs, their groups, who just weren't getting along. And there was probably a generational gap. Lot was probably a bit younger than Abram, so Lot lifted up his eyes and looked at all the valley of the Jordan, and it was well watered everywhere, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt as you go to Zoar. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Then Lot chose for himself the entire valley of the Jordan and journeyed east, and the two of them separated from each other. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the valley, and pitched his tent as far as Sodom. Now the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked and sinners against the Lord. Uh-oh. That's not going to make the Lord happy. After Lot had departed from him, the Lord said to Abram, "Lift up now your eyes and look from the place where you are northward and southward and eastward and westward. All the land that you see, I will give to you and your descendants forever. I will make your descendants like the dust of the earth. So if a man could number the dust of the earth, then your descendants could also be numbered. Arise and walk throughout the land across its length and its width, for I will give it to you. So Abram moved his tent and came and settled by the oaks of Mamre, which are in Hebron, and built an altar to the Lord there. All right, so this is going to be all about Abram for a while. Tomorrow we'll continue and go into Genesis 14. But this is pretty much talking about how Abram attained his wealth. Um, he had to be a little bit cunning with the Egyptians and the pharaohs when it came to his wife. And keep in mind, women were viewed kind of as a higher form of livestock in those days, which is sad. But at least they didn't kill Sarai because she was barren. That's good news. That's good to know. But they didn't because for some reason she was super duper pretty. So I guess that was her protection that God gave her. Interesting. So we'll continue. I'm going to try to get through all of Genesis by the end of this month, because before the end of this month, I really want to do the listening party and commentary when it comes to the audiobook that I found, which is the book of Enoch, just because it ties greatly into Genesis. So hopefully I'll get to that before the end of the month. So take care, everyone. Have a great day. I'm up relatively early over here. Already ate my breakfast. So I've done my Bible work for the day. And I might do some exercise and then get on with what I got to do duty-wise for the day. So take care. Live your life right. Just say no to drugs. And that's about it. Bye-bye.